Another pocketbook, the InkPad Lite. This marks the 6th release in the InkPad series after the InkPad 3, 3 Pro, Color, and X. No note-taking, no stylus support, all business. Employing an all-new shell, new design, and a 9.7-inch screen size not seen in nearly a decade. Up until now, eNotes have been plagued with bells and whistles, background processing, and the price has reflected that. However, PocketBook seems to know what making an e-reader is all about. The home screen honestly is not that much of a night and day different than other PocketBook units. You have your drop down right here that allows you to change Wi-Fi, sync, task manager, etc. You have your brightness off or on, settings wheel on the top right corner, all of your books in the center, and your things on the bottom. Now this is just your primary toggles for library notes, store, browser, and if you do go to apps, you will get your apps here. Now, very big note, these aren't apps in the traditional sense where you can sideload in OneDrive and Google Play and all that kind of stuff. This is a Linux-based device. It is not Android, therefore you cannot install or uninstall applications that you see here. Everything is just already pre-installed and decided for you. As we said at the start of this video, the reason you're getting this is because it is an e-reader. It's not a large screen note-taking tablet with an e-paper screen. This is an e-reader. It's a gigantic 9.7-inch e-reader, and again, like we said at the very beginning of the video, the 9.7-inch screen size is only used by 2 companies, PocketBook and Hanvon. Everyone else uses 10-inch, 10.3, 10.1, etc. In terms of an e-reader, this is very quick. It is displaying a lot of text, and even though it is a large screen, everything develops really quickly. You do have a touchscreen, of course, so you can do long press, you can do notes, highlights, dictionary lookup, or even search on Google. You can pinch and zoom to change the font. By doing so, it'll automatically conform itself and justify to the left and to the right, so it won't be too confusing. And then you can zoom out like that. If you did want to change your experience, you can do line spacing, you can do margins, you can do font size via the slider bar here. Everything changes live in the background as well. You can click the font, you can do regular, italicize, or bold, and search from a ton of fonts. You can also click this to show you what you want on the screen. Pages, status bar, built-in page numbering, etc. You do have the ability to take notes as well. Now this seems kind of forced, but it is nice to have. If you had to, you could take notes. You can click on the color palette, you get 8 different colors, you get shades of gray and then black and white. You do have the pen as well, you can choose different points of pen. Because this is not running a Wacom screen or an EMR, that means you cannot take notes with any sort of stylus. So like the Lamy pen, the Remarkable pen, the Supernote pen, nothing will work. You can, however, use one of these, which is a capacitive stylus, but it really is that the capacitive tip just mimics your finger. So it's going to be the exact same thing, but you could take notes. And it does allow you to do it. You can also add in your own text, and you can change the font of that text as well. So you can choose from different fonts, sizes, types, and then you can press back if you've made a mistake, or press the garbage bin to delete everything. PocketBook does have their own store for books. You'll get your book of the day and then everything down below. You can travel further by the toggles on the screen, or you can just swipe up like that. Now it does go into an A2 mode when you move things like this that you're scrolling through, but there is no way to actually toggle an A2 mode on the device wide. So it's going to be only in certain circumstances and won't be available for you to choose when to use A2 mode. Web browsing is a decent experience. It does take a second to render every time you let go, and this is because, like we said, of that lack of A2 mode. A2 mode doesn't need to render, so when you let go, it'll just kind of stay in that pixelated state until you are ready to turn it back into the full experience. But unfortunately, because this doesn't have a toggle, it's going to be an okay experience at best, but it's not the worst. PDFs, of course, look fantastic on this unit. This is part of the reason you'd buy this, is for PDFs. If you go to a screen with some text on it as well, you can do some long presses and some other things. So for example, we'll show you a long press on the screen, and this allows you to take notes, highlights, etc. Now if you select Scribble, you are now able to utilize the note-taking experience with your fingertip or a compatible capacitive stylus. You can go ahead and do that. Alternatively, at the top bar, you can choose the highlighter, and what that'll do is it'll actually highlight any text that it sees on the screen. Now this is going to be a different experience based on what you are using. For example, I just blocked that, and it seems that over there it picked up the highlight. So because side-loaded content is not 100%, it's going to rely on the quality of your PDF and what the device considers to be interactable text or not. If you get bored, there are a few games you can play, literally only 2, and they are very simplistic. They don't require any camera angle changes or anything like that. It's a very simplistic experience, but they're there if you need them. The glow light is nice as well, but the brightness is very, very blue on its base level, so you do have to take advantage of that smart light. The smart light instantly counteracts how blue the screen actually is and ends up being a very nice matte stone white, especially because this does not have a flush screen bezel that in fact actually looks like a more clear and raw experience, which is a good thing, but we just recommend that you don't put it to either of the two extremes because they can be relatively extremes. Try to find that middle ground, and you can utilize the auto settings as well. PocketBook owns half of all large screen dedicated e-readers in existence, and the InkPad Lite is an amazing addition to that genre. In fact, it is the only non-Chinese device that is using the 9.7-inch screen size. If you want to grab one of these, it is available on our store at goodyreader.com/blog/shop. Follow goodyreader at goodyreader.com. Follow me at togetrial, and if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. For a full review of the InkPad Lite, this is Peter.